Today, I'm delighted to welcome Greg Coiro from Direct Line Cruises. Hey, Greg, welcome to Caspio's Low Code High Impact series. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about your Caspio and low code journey. So why not kick us off and share with everyone a little bit about yourself, your company?
Hi, Paul. Great. I'm excited to be here today. Thank you for inviting me on this podcast. Yes, so I've been in with Direct Line Cruises for just about 25 years. Small family-owned business. We are a cruise-only travel agency. We're really the middleman between the consumer and going directly to the cruise line. Our agency, about 60% of our business is done through our website. And then about 40% of the business, the remaining portion, is done through our call center. We have a call center in Long Island, New York, where we have about 35 staff members. But what we do is we typically negotiate cruise fares with the cruise lines. We buy inventory, and by buying the inventory, typically we can pass on those savings, bulk savings, directly to the consumers.
Sounds good. So what's your background as well? Because I know obviously you're very self-taught, Greg, because I was talking to the team earlier.
Sure. So I have a business computer information systems background. By no means am I a computer programmer. My major that I studied was accounting, economics, business. But I have a background where I've taught myself HTML, JavaScript, SQL. I grew up on Microsoft Access.
Yeah.
So I have enough knowledge to be able to do some technical work in regards to computer programming. With Caspio, to be quite honest with you, it was just a perfect fit, the low code formula, because again, I'm not a computer programmer, but Caspio really empowers me to be creative.
Well, Greg, we were just talking before, weren't we? Is that you've been a Caspio customer now for 17 years, which is crazy when you think of the length that Caspio's been around. So you're probably one of our longest term customers. So thank you for your business, obviously. But can you remember going back to 17 years ago, what brought you to Caspio and low code?
Yeah, absolutely. I can remember. First of all, wow, I can't believe 17 years. Incredible journey. Really, it's quite simple, where our agency has been using Microsoft Access about 17 years ago. And we used Microsoft Access primarily to store our own customer reservation information. But I had a simple project 17 years ago where the cruise lines, what they were doing was they were giving us Excel files of all of their inventory and pricing. And at that time, there really were no APIs available where we could connect directly to the cruise line's inventory and pricing model. So on a daily basis, they would provide us an Excel file with inventory and pricing. And then what we were trying to do was simply take that Excel file, upload it into a Microsoft Access database. And I wanted to get that Microsoft Access database online on our website, so consumers could shop and look for different ships, different sailing dates, and view the inventory and the pricing. And what was so amazing to me, Paul, was there wasn't a solution, or I couldn't find a viable solution to simply get Microsoft Access online. And I went through all different iterations. I started licensing SQL Server databases. I used a program called Microsoft Front Page that had
Remember?
connectivity to Microsoft Access. And there were a lot of Band-Aids. And then I just happened to go onto Google and I typed in Microsoft Access online. And lo and behold, Caspio came up. I tried a free trial version 17 years ago. And that free trial version quickly solved that one little project that I was looking to do at that point. And it was amazing how quickly I was able to turn around that one project. Now, I will say, Paul, that project that I created 17 years ago, do I utilize it anymore? No, I don't. And I'm probably jumping ahead. But now what's happened is my company has evolved so much because of Caspio that one little project now has evolved into hundreds of apps that I've developed with Caspio.
Yeah, it's staggering, really, what you've achieved in 17 years. So, can you share with everyone a little bit about the application? I know you've got a lot of them. What is kind of the end users, and how do they use it?
Sure. So one of our primary applications is our CRM, our customer relationship management application. That's for all of our agents to utilize. So whenever we book a client, all of the customer's information is stored into the CRM application. Typically, what happens, Paul, when we're booking a cruise for a client, the information first is going directly to the cruise line. We're using the cruise line systems to make the reservations. So, case in point, if we were booking a Carnival or a Royal Caribbean cruise, we're using a third-party application to book and get the customer's information in there. But fortunately, what we've been able to do through the evolution of Caspio with programs such as Zapier, what we can do is connect the cruise line systems through Zapier, and then that information comes from the cruise line through Zapier and then automatically feeds into Caspio. So our agents don't have to replicate or duplicate information. The information they're entering into the cruise line systems just naturally flow into the Caspio database applications. So we manage all of our reservation information there. What we've also done is we've connected all of our phone systems directly to Caspio. So we have a third-party VoIP provider. We've connected that through Zapier, which then connects into Caspio. So whenever we want to call a customer, we have a little button in our reservation system that we press on Caspio, and it dials out onto our desktop phones. We've created loyalty club programs for our customers.
Wow.
So, and those are consumer-facing loyalty club programs. So customers can go on our website, log into their loyalty club program, see how many points they've earned. They can redeem points. And again, those are probably just a few of many different applications we've created.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Greg. I did want to ask you, because I was talking to a customer earlier about how do they find working with Caspio. And this customer I was talking to earlier was really saying, will your support team 24/7 be available? That gives me the comfort blanket for me to be able to go out there and do it myself, but knowing that I've got the technical support to help me as and when needed. So I just wanted to get a feel for you. Is it something that you use? Is the support team at Caspio?
Yeah, you know, what sold me with Caspio 17 years ago was the phenomenal support back then. And I will say, Paul, the phenomenal support continues, you know, into 2023. While I don't necessarily rely on your support team on a daily basis, because again, I'm typically a person that likes to be hands-on, and Caspio allows me to be hands-on with your low-code platform. I will say this, Paul, whenever I have a support issue, or a support inquiry where I just need to figure out, am I doing something wrong, via either the live chat, either submitting a ticket or just picking up the phone. Your company has consistently impressed me, and provides phenomenal support.
It's great to hear. Thank you for sharing that, Greg. I was going to ask you kind of the commercial element of the applications that you've built. What return on investment are you seeing? I know it's probably be very difficult to quantify that, a kind of a number, or with regards to efficiency savings, or is it a combination of both?
I'm going to say it's definitely a combination of both. Probably the majority, Paul, is from an efficiency standpoint. We've definitely been able to save time by automating a lot of processes. That's the biggest thing. What we're trying to do over the years is look at tasks that typically we spend a lot of time of just manually inputting the same data, repeating the same tasks. And through Caspio, especially just over the last year or two, where your company has introduced tasks, where you can build out automated task flows or triggered actions, those have allowed us to automate so many routine tasks that we've been doing over the years, where we say that's a significant cost savings, because otherwise I would have to be paying staff members to do those repeated tasks over and over.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of customers I'm talking to are saying exactly the same, especially the efficiency savings. They're not needing to go out there to recruit people to do this when they've got the applications, which can save resource and obviously in turn money as well. So that's interesting. So if we've got people that are thinking about looking at low code and Caspio, what advice would you give them?
I would say first thing to do is sign up for a free trial account at Caspio. I think that's the first thing to do. And educate yourself. Caspio, just by going on to your website, there's a wealth of information. And again, myself being a self-taught person, that wealth of information with the free account, you can really create some nice applications. And then once you get to a point where you say, well, I don't know where else to go with this, then what you can do is rely on Caspio's support team.
Yeah.
And I know you have, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, what is the name of your managed resource?
The professional services team.
Professional services.
So some customers do use that, especially when they're not very technical. But we have some customers, well, like yourself, that are self-taught, that don't really use that service. They don't feel a need to use it. But it's always good, again, if we've got people that either don't have the time or they don't have the technical background, to come and use our experts to help build the application.
Yeah. So I've heard great things about the professional services team. I've used them many years ago. Fantastic. What I would also recommend to anyone that's looking at low code, especially with Caspio, read through your community forum boards. I find those so resourceful in just learning about the Caspio application.
Yeah. No, great advice that for people that are considering low code and obviously Caspio as well. So you've been a customer for 17 years. Let's hope it's going to be at least another 17 years on top of that. But how do you envisage using low code and Caspio moving forward?
Wow. I'm going to say this. So if you were talking to me, Paul, in 2018, at that point, maybe about 50% of our business operations were powered by Caspio.
Yeah.
And I always had a dream of getting close to 99% of our operations completely powered by Caspio. As we're speaking in 2023, I finally fulfilled that dream. And we're
Amazing.
I'm going to say about 99% of our back office operations are powered by Caspio. Where do I envision it going? I have to say there's no ceiling, Paul. And the reason I say that is this. Probably one of the most impressive aspects of your company is you're continuing to evolve the product and you're listening to customer feedback. There are many other possibly low-code service products out there, but they're not evolving like Caspio is. So I know myself, every time Caspio comes out with a new release, such as the latest release is the webhook release that you just came out with, that empowers companies such as Direct Line Cruises and many other companies to continue building and continue evolving. So while I can't give you a specific roadmap, I can say this: as long as your company continues evolving, that will allow us to continue to evolve moving into the future with Caspio.
Great feedback, Greg. And I think listening to customers is the most important thing that we should do, and we do, because let's hear from what customers really want. We don't want to be working in silos and coming up with these kind of technical geeks coming up with these ideas. We've got to listen to customers. What are they looking for, and what does the roadmap look like, and making sure that customer feedback is also built into the roadmap for feature enhancements as well. So Let me close this out for you then, Greg. I love the conversation. Thank you for sharing all your low code and Caspio stories. And thank you for being a long-term customer. We really appreciate it. I'll talk with you very soon.
Great. Thank you, Paul. It's been a pleasure.